Okay, for part two of the train assembly, I'm going to place the wheels, the linkage arms, the axle pegs, and the linkage pegs. So the first thing I'm going to do is drop in the wheels, and I need four of them. So I'm just going to kind of drop four of them in there. And I will need to rotate at least two of them around, right, because they're facing the wrong way. So the way I like to do that is just go from this view here, select the rotate command, flip it around. Again, it just needs to be kind of close. It doesn't need to be, perfect, right? Then select this one, rotate that around, and now I've got those two wheels in the roughly, excuse me, roughly the proper orientation. I can do my constrain, insert, select that edge there, that edge there. Then now do the wheel. Now let's apply that. Do the next wheel, I should say. And I can go back and apply that and do the last two wheels. And there I've got my four wheels roughly in the position they want to be. So if I grab the wheel now, any one of the wheels, you'll see I can rotate it. But that's all I can do to the wheel. It's constrained, right? Remember your degrees of freedom? It's constrained so it only has 1 degree of freedom rotation about that one axis. Okay? All right, the next step we have to do on here is put the axle pegs. I need 4 of those, so I'm going to pick the axle peg and just drop those in, 1, 2, 3, 4. And you'll see I have to rotate them. If I don't rotate them, I can't be sure that when if the orientation isn't close to what it needs to be, can't be certain that it's gonna inventor will insert them in the right orientation. It might put them in backwards. So that's why you always have to do your rotation such that they're at least close. Okay, so I've got 2 of these wheels have to go this way. I'm sorry, 2 of these axles, right, have to go this way. And then 2 of them from the other side have to go this way. It's not going to let me select this last one. There we go. Rotate. There we go. Okay. So now you can see those 2 axle pegs will go in this side and the other 2 will go on the other side. So I do my constrain, insert, select the proper edge, because remember it's kind of like a mate in this sense, right? You got to make sure you pick the edges that will actually line up. All right, there I've got my 4 axle pegs, right? And the wheel still spins around it, okay? Now I have to do the linkage. So I'm going to place 2 linkage arms. These also will need to be rotated. So from this angle, you need to rotate them about 90 degrees or so. And then these can be a little tricky to line up because the wheels have to be sort of in the proper orientation, but You'll know if you got your dimensions correct on the spacing with between the holes in the linkage arm, and also the spacing on the little pin on the wheel for the linkage, because it will refuse to insert them if you don't get those right. So first thing, that goes there. Now you'll notice it's not quite lined up right. So I need to go in, and sometimes you have to like escape out and sort of move it a little bit, get it out of the way so you can see both faces. Insert there and there. Okay, so it seems to have liked that. Now you'll notice if I move the wheel around, it moves together. Oh, it kind of moves together, right? But sometimes it gets a little squirrely. One of the wheels moves backwards. I'll show you how to fix that, but let's get the other linkage in place first. Okay, so zoom in here. I want that to be lined up with, oh wait, wrong side. Let's start over. Insert. It's got to be this face lined up with there. And once again, I'm going to kind of bring that out of the way so that I can see both of the surfaces that I want to constrain. That with that. Okay. So once again, we have our linkage arm. But you'll notice, as I mentioned, sometimes it moves really nice, but other times I can't make this one do it. Now there it goes. See, sometimes one of the wheels will move backwards. Well, how do we fix that? How do we keep it from doing that? Well, you can create an additional constraint. And let's see if I remember how to do this. You want a constraint that's actually an angular constraint. So we're going to do a directed angle, and we're going to select the bottom plane of this, and we want to make sure it's always parallel to the bottom of the train, 0 degrees. And that way, this linkage arm will always, always, always be horizontal. It won't be able to, go at that crazy angle. So that should be all we need to do to make sure that linkage arm stays parallel, and the wheels will only turn in the same direction and the linkage arm moves. All right, last thing we need to do is place the linkage pegs. So I need 4 of those. Drop those in, 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm going to need to rotate them. Where'd they go? Way over here. Sometimes you'll find when you place objects, they go way out of where you want them, but it's okay. You can zoom in and out and find them. We got to rotate these. 2 of them. 2 of them for one side and 2 of them for the other side. Come on. There it is. So we'll go this one that way. This one that way. Then we'll go this one opposite direction. And rotate this one also opposite direction. Okay. Now it doesn't really matter how far apart they are, right? Because I'm just going to constrain them in the way I did with all the other pegs. I'm going to say constrain, insert that edge with that edge. See? Then go back over here. Let's say apply. Pick the next one, that edge with that edge. I got 2 more. Apply that. Make sure you click apply if you're doing multiple, inserts. That edge with that edge. Apply that. Now let's see where sometimes I lose these little parts if they're way out in the middle of space somewhere. That edge with that edge. Apply that. And I believe that is your completed assembly.